All right, so we just took a look at the coaching mode, but there's a bunch of other new stuff in this update, and one of them has to do with sort of how info is presented with you know, the interface and the HUD updates and things like that. So let us know what's going on with that.
So right now we're in the training mode, and as you play through each of the tutorial missions, you'll unlock another character that you can use when you're actually just playing the game at large. So once you've finished with that, and once you've actually gotten to a level of proficiency, we changed this mode from the training mode into the more veteran mode, and that will show you kind of the character you last played and things that are important about them. But even beyond that one, I would say another thing that's really important for any player to really know is that you can, once you play the tutorial, you can go back to Crime Alley, which is like the third tutorial map, and basically just play a 1v1 to basically try out any other characters. And
including those ones you unlocked in the tutorial?
Absolutely. Okay. Especially those, because that might be where you want to practice. I mean, right now we also have two new characters, both Nightmare Robin and Atomic Joker. We'll start off with Nightmare Robin, one of my favorites.
Okay. This is always the most exciting part of playing MOBAs. Like, you know, patch notes and updates to user interface and HUD, that's all great, but like you just want the new characters, right?
Oh yeah. Like that's the new hotness, and it's always like it's the new challenge of new character to master, and really what is that role? Like a lot of people have their own specific roles they want to play, and Nightmare Robin is an assassin, and it's somewhat fitting that you have Batman explaining to you, hey, this is as an assassin, these are such things you're going to want to do.
Okay. See, and the other great thing about characters is once the community gets their hands on them, they're going to do everything possible with that character, things you never thought of.
Yes.
It's kind of fun to be there along for the ride, especially from the very beginning.
Yeah, and Nightmare Robin is definitely one of those characters who I consider a playmaker.
Showing off a little bit.
So this Nightmare Robin actually is different than base Robin in the fact that we have Tim Drake as the basic version of Robin, whereas in the Nightmare universe, it's actually Damian Wayne. Damian Wayne is actually the son of Bruce Wayne. And in this case, he is half vampire.
See, I'm coming from the angle that I like MOBAs but don't know anything about DC. So it's kind of interesting to hear this stuff. If you had like Greg Miller in here, it'd be sort of the opposite.
No, that's fair. Yeah. And I feel like that's always where the art comes from, is because you actually want to dovetail the two of them together in a really, really compelling way. And right now, so Arcing Blades is kind of like the men for the boys type skill, and that's his Q, and that's the one which effectively, when you actually throw the blades themselves, you can see how they basically deal damage to everyone they pass through. And this basically gives you a lot of options in terms of whether or not you want to actually wave clear, or if you actually want to do a fairly long-range engage. So like, if they both intersect, that's when they'll knock down anyone who's there. So this is one of those examples of, if you come late to a team fight, or conversely, if you just want to catch person out and just like trade with them very aggressively, that's typically when you want to use your Q ability. And right now, I feel like we can always target it.
Interesting. You changed the. Say. It's a skill shot, but most skill shots are like there's a line pointing out or a cone, and you just shift that. But this is like a.
Oh yeah.
Like the oval is shifting. Yeah, that's really cool.
And it's one of those things that, again, like, gives you a lot of options, because if you're standing, because you can see the oval is fixed distance. So if you're actually standing like with a wave, and you want to be right there in the wave, you'll throw it, and basically it'll arc out along the actual wave, hitting everyone who's around you. So that you can really effectively use it in a lot of weird and unorthodox ways. And each time, those blades will actually deal damage.
So you can really like push and clear a wave to go on the tower quickly if you want.
Oh yeah. Okay. It is one of those things that, but obviously it's the only form of CC you have, at least in terms of the ability to actually knock any of your opponents down. So you have to be careful about when you actually want to use it.
Okay, let's jump in. What do we have for W?
So our W is Unnatural Reflexes, I believe. And right now, the place
too far. We went too far. That's all right. We'll be back. Just let me know what's up with the W, and we'll check it out when we get back.
That's fair. So actually, it's Impale. So actually, one of the things about Impale is it's all about positioning, because you deal more damage if you're behind your opponent. So it actually is really meant to dovetail very, very well with your E.
Okay, is this sorry, was that a just like a base thing in this game, you do more damage from behind, or is it this character?
No, it's specifically for that ability. So like obviously when a person's running away from you is typically when you want to use it, because that's when you'll do the most damage. And typically a lot of people are going to run from Nightmare Robin, because on a clean engage, he does a lot of damage, and a lot of people are just going to want to bail. He also particularly wants to target weaker characters who are going to want to stay at range from him. So like here's an example. Like you saw actually a very large spiky amount of damage, and that was actually even from the front. That was actually not even, because poor Gasbot, he doesn't really know what's going on.
Remember, we're super powered right now, too. We're way level up, so it's not going to quite be like that. But
so the next one up will be Unnatural Reflexes, and that's one of those things that also allows you to pretty much control positioning of where you actually want to go in a fight. So an example right here is he'll use it, and he basically can just kind of almost effectively blink from point A to point B.
So you can teleport anywhere within that circle?
Yep. And that allows you.
This is me getting a little nitty gritty. Does it have to be on the edge of the circle, or can it be anywhere?
No, it can be anywhere within. Obviously, for the best play, you're going to want to have the maximum length.
Right.
But I mean, you absolutely can do it for little micro adjustments if you want to as well. Like, let's say you're mirror matching, you might want to micro adjust just to stay out of range of that knockdown area, but not surrender your melee distance.
Okay.
So like, that's just an example of like, we want to give you as many different options with an ability as you can, but I definitely think that you're going to see the majority of people using it on the full range.
All right, and then let's jump into his ultimate.
And the last one, Feed the Beast. Now, Feed the Beast is it basically is a very, very high-powered dunk. Like,
okay. I'm a fan of dunks.
Oh, yes,
in every MOBA. Yes, please.
And I think that it's a great example of exactly what you do to people who are when you basically have done enough damage to a person to kind of just jump on them and bury them in that same way. Like, obviously, if he'd actually killed him with that blast, you would have actually seen his skill reset significantly faster. Sadly, he didn't actually finish Gasbot with it, so
we're on
get attacking again.
We're on a pretty long cooldown there.
Yeah, and that's exactly why it's like, if you're going to use it and you want to use it in a very in the most efficient way possible, you typically want to kill a person with it.
Okay, so you're the team fight janitor. You clean up.
Yes.
You run around and dunk everyone.
Yes.
Okay, what's the cooldown if you kill someone with it? It's not immediate or just significantly shorter?
I believe for this build, I believe it is just significantly shorter.
Okay. Thanks so much for showing off Nightmare Robin. We're going to jump into the other new character, Atomic Joker.
So, Atomic Joker is the head honcho of his own little crazy cult of almost circus freaks and rejects in the Atomic universe.
That sounds like Joker Company. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's very Joker Company. So what they did was they took his disembodied head and grafted him on to a pure mutant, and that's what you're seeing right here.
Okay.
And you can actually see there'll be a lot of interplay between the two of them, because one of the voice actor for this one is actually Nolan North.
Oh really? That guy can do everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The jack of all trades. He actually had a jar which he was talking into, and that's how you're going to get the sound effects of Joker as he talks to us.
I'd love to see that. Okay. Tell me a little bit about Atomic Joker. What's his role? What is he going to be doing in combat?
So Atomic Joker is a marksman, and really what you're going to see is he uses a slingshot to more or less fire bombs at people from very, very far distance. As he gains more and more power, his range will increase. Okay. So really early on, I'm not gonna say weak, but he's certainly at less of a threat than he is later. Because at later times, he can deal so much more damage and stay from a good distance. But the rest of his abilities actually really dovetail with that very well.
So is he's going to be pretty weak in lane compared to some other heroes and might need someone else in lane with him to help out?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely the case. But ultimately, he's one of those characters who pays out late, because if you can get him in the later games, he will deal significantly more damage.
So he's a carry.
Yep.
Okay.
Sometimes you refer to him as a hyper carry.
Okay. Very interesting. Those are characters I like to play. Not when the other team has like a huge push lineup and tries to end the game fast. Then it's rough. But
yes.
If the game goes late and you're unstoppable, it feels really good. Oh, that's a funny little taunt there. That's pretty good.
I guess I'm bombing.
Such good voice acting.
Same
right.
person.
Let's run down the abilities. The QWER. What's first?
So let's see. Right now over Q, we actually have I believe that's Atomic Potato, right?
The drones will cease
That's Hot Potato. So basically on Hot Potato, he takes a potato, shoves a stick of dynamite into it, and shoots it at someone. And that is the special ability in terms of just allows him to do spiky damage kind of early.
Okay.
And fairly useful just in general for him.
That's good. It's appropriately silly too.
Oh yes.
For a Joker sort of gag, yeah.
I don't know if you can get much more silly than a mutant on a unicycle.
No.
With a slingshot.
That'd be difficult.
But there we have it. The second one is his banana peel. That's I believe it's actually the atomic peel or whichever. However, plutonium peel. So what you can see is he kind of throws those on the battlefield. Take a little while, they float a little bit, and whenever an opponent of any type goes over them, they'll trip and fall. Now, one of the things that this is really useful for a lot of things. You can use it to zone in order to basically just control an area for a person. You can use it to make sure a person doesn't have really good, clean escape routes either. Because it really only works, as you see right there.
Can they see? Excuse me. Can they see the banana? On the
oh yeah, and you can see when you toss it too. It's really on them to try to dodge it, and it can actually kill you. So a person can actually trip over it and die.
It does damage. Is that the most humiliating death in this game?
I think so. I mean, the little sound effect that plays.
That sound effect makes it even worse if you die. Yeah.
I mean, the little slide whistle. It's hard to go wrong with a slide whistle.
All right. All right. Let's jump into the E.
Okay. So for his E, which is the sorry, mouse over real quickly. Yes. So the acid balloon, another example of basically does splash damage in an area and enhances his ability to deal additional damage. So obviously it's like acid corrodes armor, corrodes any ability to defend, you will just deal more damage over it. So you kind of want to lead into it, and he can just toss it out, and it just gives him the ability to kind of, it's more of a steroid for him.
Okay, so it's going to do some damage, and it's going to boost his following attacks.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, as a marksman, really you deal the majority of your damage just through attacking, and that's exactly what we wanted that to be. The acid balloon is kind of just a good setup for you to attack more.
Okay. And the ultimate.
And the ultimate. Oh yes. Basically, Jack in the Box is a very, very, very strong ability that the instant you fire it off, Joker's head shoots up, and you see fireworks just shooting out of him. These things will damage anyone nearby. So this is one of those things where you live recklessly if you want to use it offensively in a team fight, but it also just helps when another team kind of jumps in on you, because you're just firing off spike damage just in an area affecting yourself. So right now we'll try to use it on.
Just on this person here.
Yeah. So yeah, you can kind of see a little bit of it right there.
It's just madness. It's chaos. It just starts shooting everything.
Yeah, and it would be a lot more. I mean, obviously, it'd be more crazy if we had more opponents against it, because you'll fire up to 3 rockets at the same time.
Okay.
So like if you're in good positioning, you'll drop that, and you'll be blasting almost everyone else, and you'll hear all the crazy sounds of almost a circus going off, and fireworks, and every firework goes off, and
it seems really like chaotic. It might cause the enemy to panic a little bit.
Yes.
Try and get away.
Yes, and that I feel like that is actually in many ways that is Atomic Joker's shtick, because he really can do a lot of damage to you very quickly, and you might not know you're dead until you start trying to run, and that almost kind of sets the stage, because you trip on a banana peel, you hear this horrible sound of a Jack in the Box, you get shot in the face with the firework, and then you die.
You just die and you're humiliated.
Yeah, and it's just sad. There's a lot of sadness everywhere.
That's good. That's good ending quote for this. Thanks so much for coming by and showing off the September update.
Oh, thank you.
When does this come out?
September 24th.
24th. Okay, so not too long.
Yes.
And finally, everyone can see the new tutorials, coaching mode, new characters. You guys have been working on it for a long time.
Yes.
All right. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. For more on MOBAs, subscribe to IGN Arena at youtube.com/IGN Arena, and check out the IGN Arena podcast, where we talk about Infinite Crisis, League of Legends, Strife, Dota, Smite, all the MOBAs you can handle. And for more on everything Infinite Crisis, keep it right here on IGN.